Hi, guys. Okay. I thought I'd start a little early and get Psalms in there and um, plus the Isaiah stuff. So I'm a little early, but I need to keep up on because that helps too. And you never know what you're going to find in Psalms. So I thank you for coming on. It's funny because I was earlier in the chat on Tony's page or his channel, and he was talking about just a bunch of stuff, but I I seem to be quiet on here, and then usually in talking, I'm not as quiet as I appear on YouTube. Um, I guess not to be fake, but just not to scare anybody off. Yeah. I dressed up for you guys, not dressed up, but actually looked presentable. But I was thinking about that, how much I grew up, my family said that we shouldn't look on the outside, but then we were taught that we should look good and make appearances. So it's completely hypocritical. But anyways, I felt like looking more presentable myself anyways, since this weekend I was kind of blah. So, um, yeah, that Psalms had a lot of, I thought, parallels to Isaiah with the nations and the wicked. And now that we know more of how the world works, um, it's like um, we see the Most High specifically addressing those evils. Because I've heard, and you guys have probably heard too, the theory, which is true, that humankind and how we've been created is good. So our hearts, and we know Adam and Eve sinned and all that, but truly, no person is just hateful or we're just mean. You are that way because of something. The true evildoers are the ones that we can't see. So that's really who I think the Bible is referring to when it's saying the judgment on the evildoers are the ones that are controlling everything, not really your neighbor next door who isn't the kindest person. They're just influenced and they don't even know it. I was talking over Thanksgiving with my uncle a little bit and my aunt, and they're completely, I think they're atheists. It's not like they're hardcore atheists, but whatever works for you. And of course, they've taken um, every every what that's been promoted. 5-time boosts and all that stuff. Five. That's what he told me. He has had 5 boosts. A lot. So the more, that's too much. The more they think that they're free thinkers, the more they aren't. And it seems like with every boost they get, they become more sheepleish, which is just crazy. So it's interesting to see the world around us kind of crumbling in a spiritual sense, in like people know what's right and wrong, and people still kind of stand up for right, but we're also we could be self-absorbed. Oh, thank him. Like even at work, I work with women, because we're mostly in education, and everyone's talking about like getting facials and buying stuff on Amazon constantly. I had to buy these shoes, and I'm just so far removed. Maybe that's a good thing. I just have money to spend like that. Like who has money to actually get a facial? Like my facial is like from Melissa, because she gave her bentonite clay facial. Like that's my facial on Sunday nights. I do it myself in my bathroom. I don't go and get a facial. Like who has money to do that? I guess a lot of money. It's just funny to see how materialistic everyone is, and not that I'm not. I don't. I mean, I could tend to be that way. We all like nice things, but well, have a good day, Tim. Back at work. I don't know. The world is just so worldly. And like I said, I'm not perfect, and I nice things too. I just can't have them. So, um, I guess, who needs a facial? Melissa's facials are good enough for me. They're really good. She has um, a lot of good stuff. So, in fact, some of her good stuff, my mailbox, so I got to go get that after. Anyways, enough about that. A few ideas pop in my head over the last couple days. I did not read this beforehand, so again, we're going to go on the fly. But I did want to mention kind of what's been rolling in my brain, and like we were saying in Tony's chat. Oh, Skull made it! See, 4 minutes early because I was like 15 minutes earlier than I said I'd be. One thing in the chat was we were all saying say want without being, and it's so true. So I just always have things rolling in my head. So if you want to judge me, you can judge me, or if you want to tell me I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong. But none of us really know. So, and you won't offend me. I can't be offended. The only thing I'm offended by is like out and out injustices, or we all have our self-esteem issues. I won't go into that, but stuff like that bothers me. But I was wondering, and I don't know if anybody else has had, I think the world's so different than when this guy, that's Isaiah, by the way, wrote Isaiah. How do we know what the world looked like? We're told in the mainstream that it was in Saudi Arabia, in Israel, like Ashkenazi Zionist Israel. That's where all this stuff came from. That's where all these historical stories came from. But here, I'll move over so you can see this. If you be too small. If you type in images of Isaiah, this one should pop up on Google or whatever. But I had the theory of what if Isaiah was talking about a completely, and we've talked about Utah, but even a completely different area than even we think of today. So we can think in terms of our maps that we've been shown, but I am having a hard time wrapping my head around the old maps and then the even older maps, like if you see on my links or on my tabs here, Hyperborea. And I saw recently, I saw recently about, so I'm not even going to be able to find, you can help me. This is the Americas. So somewhere up here, I think this is California. Yeah, ICL, I think. So this is supposedly California. And as we know, like that old map, and I can't pronounce it, I'm just going to say it, Americana Septuaginte, or whatever that old map is. I did a video on that last year, and so did Jane's Journey. If you want to check her channel out, she's super smart. She has a lot of insights, and she's looked at different maps too, and she's actually overlaid where the old maps show where rivers and things are, especially out west, and then she showed how they've shifted. So she has some good videos. But anyways, I'm thinking more in terms of maybe Isaiah, and still keeping with the theme that Israel is not where we're told it is, but it doesn't matter. If this was the center, and some people believe this was the Garden of Eden, and that it still is, that it's paradise, this may be where people in paradise are waiting for the final judgment. So if this is California, supposedly now, and then in that 1500s America Septuaginta map, I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing it, California was an island, so it's kind of like this was lopped off, moved over down south, and this is what's now the North Pole, obviously. So, or maybe it's not obvious to you, this is what they say the North Pole is. But what I'm asking is there a theory that Isaiah and maybe other prophetical books are speaking more in terms of landforms and these places versus how we visualize in our heads our maps too. And that's how deep, I don't know, that's how deep the deception could go. I just think it's completely different than what we've been told. So here's like Asia. So if we could base the destruction, so this is 1595, if we even base the destruction of this kind of land versus what we know now, that might even make more sense. It might even make more sense to me, the map and how it's been, how the landforms seem to be broken off. Like I said, California and things, and everything has shifted because of those judgments in the past, whenever that was. I don't know. We don't know what this looks like because I don't want anybody up here. This is Greenland, I think. I don't know what mountain ranges those maybe would be. The Rockies. I can't read that. I do have this hanging on my wall, and I'll have to look if it's any clearer. I think I just printed something like this off. But I'm just curious if this is where the judgment started, and that is a result of why maps look the way they do now. So that it would make sense, maybe, you know, Saudi Arabia and Asia, those parts that the Bible does talk about, was a lot closer to the Americas here as we see it in these rivers. I don't know. Just something to think, something. But Isaiah 33. Oh, I'm gonna do the. Hey, it makes more sense in terms of Hyperborea is known to be places where small people are found and tall people are found. And so when we think back to that chapter in Isaiah we read where the tall, lean people paid homage to the Most High, it would make more sense maybe if they lived in these areas here, that they came to Mount Zion, wherever that might be, from their regions, and would just trek across or trek this way. The tall, like I said, the tall, lean people, they would have Mount Zion, wherever that would be here. And this is just a small portion, you know, we don't even see the rest of these lands and what they really look. America in the past and South America were kind of melded more together. Mexico, I think, was probably attached to North America. Anyways, that's my theory, if you put all the pieces together. So, Hyperborea map. Did it show the Hyperborea map? Did I show the Hyperborea map? Did it show up when I was sharing? Or did it just show the Bible? I've seen what was proposed to do to the Mississippi River. No. Like they want to do it? I know it's been low. Oh, they want to mess it all. Huh. Interesting. They want to mess it up. Because it's been messed up before. I think everything's cyclical. Let me share my screen this way. I think I didn't share my screen properly. Hold on. Okay, let's do this way. Did you not even see the Hyperborea map because I had the wrong thing on? Probably. Hey, Tony. Here's the map. So yeah, what I'm saying, I'm proposing is, if the world looked more like this in Bible times, it would make the people groups they're referring to in the nations coming to Mount Zion wherever they are. And then likewise the judgments that happened, the complete really disassembling of land masses because of the Most High's judgment. So that's what I'm saying. So if people that were known to be tall and lean are from these areas coming over to pay homage to them, it would not be that Unbelievable. Okay, let's get reading. And I'm not just saying Hyperborea is the only map to use. It's just that's the one I'm thinking of where everything seemed more centralized. Okay. Woe to you, O destroyer, you who were not yourself destroyed, who deal treacherously, though they, your victims, did not deal treacherously with you. When you have ceased to be destroyed, and when you have stopped dealing treacherously, they will deal treacherously with you. Oh, can you say treacherously anymore? Okay. O Yah, or O Lord, you can say whatever you want on this channel. Be gracious to us. We have waited expectantly for you. Be the arm of your servants, their strength and defense, every morning our salvation in the time of trouble. At the noise of the tumult caused by your voice, at which the enemy is overthrown, the peoples flee up of yourself. Nations are scattered. So that's what I'm talking about. Nations here would be scattered more abroad than just a central location. Okay, verse 4. And the spoil of the Assyrians is gathered the inhabitants of Jerusalem as the caterpillar gathers. As locusts leap and run to and fro, so the Jews spoil the Assyrians' forsaken camp as they leap upon it. The Lord is exalted, for he dwells on high. He will fill Zion with justice and righteousness, with rectitude in every area and relation. And there shall be stability in your times, an abundance of salvation, wisdom, and knowledge. The reverent fear and worship of Yah is your treasure and his. Behold, their valiant ones cry without. Ambassadors of peace weep bitterly. The highways lay, the wayfaring man ceases. The enemy has broken the covenant. He has despised the cities, and the witnesses he regards no man. I'm going to look in my Names of God Bible just in case. Okay, it says highways are deserted, travelers stop traveling, agreements are broken, witnesses are rejected, people are no longer respected. The country grieves and wastes away. Lebanon is ashamed and is decaying. So I kind of like the names of God. Lebanon is confounded. So laid waste and confounded. So maybe in their minds they're confounded, and then also the land was laid waste. Its luxuriant verdure withers away. So I'm assuming Lebanon had, we were talking about the cedars of Lebanon, so everything of beauty was destroyed. Sharon, a fertile pasture region south of Mount Carmel, is like a desert, and Bashan, a broad, fertile plateau east of the Jordan River, and Mount Carmel shake off their leaves. So I guess I'll go back to this map. If something was destroyed, oops, wrong one. It's so decimated. Just look really quick. Let's take a pause and look at what the Hyperborea. I'm going to show you when I was searching. When you look for images of Hyperborea, it's all about myth and gaming and folklore and it's just pretend myth. Yeah. So lots of fruit made into deserts. So again, back and say, well, the Middle East is a ton of deserts. Why wouldn't it be there too? And it could have been, but then I'll go back to my, am I cutting out? My internet's all of a sudden down. Get rid of some stuff here. Okay, it seems like my internet's okay, I don't know. Is okay. So ancient Greek Mythical people who lived in the far northern part of the known world. Their name is derived from the Greek Boreas, the god of the north wind, although some scholars prefer a derivation to carry over. Despite their location in an otherwise frigid part of the world, the North Pole may not have been frigid in the past. Hyperboreans were believed to inhabit a sunny, temperate, and divinely blessed land. In many versions of the story, they lived north of the Riphean Mountains. That's like giants. Let's see. Excuse me, my throat's all of a sudden scratchy. Mountain range of Eurasia. The name of the mountains is probably derived from Ripheans, which often northern border. Okay. So like Rephaim, which shielded them from the cold north wind. The oldest myths portray them as the favorites of Apollo. Some Greek writers regarded Hyperboreans as the mythical founders of Apollo's shrine, Delos and Delphi. This would refer to what you were, Skull, talking about, Greece. Later writers disagreed on the existence and location of Hyperboreans. So this is mainly talking about the people that would live in the center. Right here. Versus here. So I wonder if the Hyperboreans were the ones that paid homage to the Most High in Isaiah. Okay, later writers disagreed on the existence and location of them, with some regarding them as purely mythological, and others connecting them to the real world people and places in North Eurasia, Britain, Scandinavia, or Siberia. Medieval and Renaissance literature, of course. Hyperboreans came to signify remoteness and exoticism. Ancient ideas, utopianism, edge of the earth, cult Apollo, exhibited reports of phenomena in northern Europe like the midnight sun. Goes on in that. Something to keep in mind. So this part sounds like what the Hyperborea would be referring to. I don't know. Since that's the point, and maybe where the life was like Eden, those other places around our nations and our land masses surrounding it are affected. Verse 10, now I will arise, says the Most High, now will I lift up myself, now will I be exalted. You conceive chaff, and you bring forth stubble. Your breath is a fire that consumes you. So that's saying like it's nothing of value. And the people will be burned as if to lime, like thorns cut down or burned fire. Here you are far off, says Yahuwah, what I have done, and you who are near acknowledge my might. The sinners in Zion are afraid. He seizes the godless ones. They cry and dwell with that. Who among us can dwell with those everlasting burnings? He who walks righteously and speaks uprightly, who despises gain from fraud and oppression, who shakes his hand free from taking of bribes, who stops his ears from hearing of bloodshed and shuts his eyes to avoid looking upon evil. Satan will dwell on the heights of his base of defense, will be the fortresses of rocks. His bread will be given him. Water for him will be sure. Your eyes will see the king in his beauty. Your eyes will behold a land of wide distances that stretches afar. Your mind will meditate on the terror, asking, where is he who counted? Where is he who weighed the tribute? Where is he who counted the towers? So in the past also, there were lots of towers, and we see that in old maps also. Towers everywhere. Even in remote places, before they were remote places. You will see no more the fierce and insolent people, a people of a speech too deep and obscure to be comprehended, of a strange and stammering tongue that you cannot understand. So these people, I wonder, even are existent anymore. We don't know. Look upon Zion, the city of wet feasts and solemnities. Your eyes shall see Jerusalem, a quiet habitation, a tent that shall not be taken down. Not one of its stakes shall ever be pulled up, neither shall any of its cords be broken. But there the Most High will be for us in majesty and splendor of a place of broad rivers and streams where no oar-propelled boat can go, and no mighty and stately ship can pass. Is that paradise? For the Most High is our judge, and he is our lawgiver, and is our king, and he will save us. Hoisting ropes hang loose. They cannot strengthen and hold firm the foot of their mast, or keep the sail spread out. They will prey, and spoil in abundance be divided. Even the lame will take the prey. And no inhabitant of Zion will say, I am sick. The people who dwell there will be forgiven their iniquity, guilt. Okay, so here's chapter 34. Let me see if anything in the chat. Anyone saying you should ask me questions, I should ask you guys questions. In the rock the other day. Oh, you're talking about Scottish? I'm Scottish. My grandma was, on my mom's side, was half Scottish, half English. I think they were from Edinburgh. No wrenches. Yeah, I don't know because I'm on Restream. I'm really a dinosaur when it comes to technology. I don't know how to do anything. The rock face, but I don't think I've seen that yet. Oh, the Appalachians, Oldest mountain range. Scottish Highlands Games. Oh. What did Snowman say? They say the Scottish Highlands were part of the same mountain range. Oh! Yeah, in Pangea. Yeah, I didn't mention Pangea. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Cool. You guys know a lot. I think, with the Jabba the Hutt stuff, of course, in movies and stuff, they know what's going on. Nothing's new under the sun. They copy a lot of, what we know about generation, and it's us, but they know it's not new. So this is the fall of Edom, and it's a glimpse of judgment. That's what my title is in my Names of God Bible. Come near, you nations, to hear. Hearken, you peoples. Let the earth hear, and all that is in it, the world and all things forth from it. And I think when it's talking about the world, maybe we can pass the ice wall. I'm not sure, though. I know that many theories about what's past the ice wall, and that some nations have gone past the ice wall to hide. The Bible's not clear about what part all the time of the world is being spoken of. I mean, our world's a lot more vast than we know. For the Most High is indignant against all nations, and his wrath is against all their host. He has utterly doomed them. He has given them over to slaughter. So we have to remember, too, stepping out of the box of churchianity and Christianity and evolutionary thought and everything else, and even the creation thought of how the church mixes evolution with creation, that there are more beings than just, I'm not talking about aliens, I'm talking about other types of created beings besides humankind that are there. I think humankind dwells in our earth realm, and then beyond the ice wall there's other realms. So I think more so that he may be indignant against other realms too, which are nations. Their slain also shall be cast out, and the stench of their dead bodies shall rise, and the mountains shall flow with their blood. This may have happened. All the host of heavens shall be dissolved and crumble away, and the skies shall be rolled together like a scroll, and this has not happened. And all their hosts and the stars, delete this right here, shall drop like a faded leaf from the vine, like a withered fig from the fig tree. Because my sword has been equipped in heaven, behold, it shall come down upon Edom, the descendants of Esau, upon the people whom I have doomed for judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood of sacrifices, and greased with fatness, with blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For he has sacrificed in Basra, the capital of Edom, a great slaughter in the land of Edom. And the wild oxen shall fall with them, and the young and mighty bulls, and their land shall be drunk and soaked with blood, and their dust made rich with fatness. For the Lord has a day of vengeance, a year of recompense for the cause of Zion. So it's all about maintaining versus all these other nations have to be destroyed. So I would think that some of this, I really do think like half of this, half of it has not. Much of it has happened. Because Zion is not seen in history. I think on purpose. I think this was a place that did exist, and we haven't seen it or heard about it because they're lying to us. Okay, and the streams of Edom, which will be turned into pitch, and its dust into brimstone, and its land will become burning pitch. So fire. The burning of Edom shall not be quenched night or day. Its smoke shall go up forever. So is that like a volcano or something? Is it a burning place? From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. So I don't know what the pelican is. It's not like the pelican we're thinking of from Florida or you know, any beach areas or island areas. Would not dwell in a place that's, you know, burning. Okay. The owl and the bittern and the raven will dwell in it, and he will stretch over it Edom, measuring line of confusion, and the plummet stones of chaos over its nobles. That's an interesting passage. They shall call its nobles to proclaim the kingdom, but nothing shall be there, and all its princes shall be no more. And thrones shall come up in its palaces, and strongholds, nettles and brambles in its fortresses, and it shall be a habitation for jackals and abode for ostriches. And the wild beasts of the desert will meet here with howling creatures, wolves and hyenas, and the shaggy wild goat will call to his fellow. The night monster will settle there, and find a place of rest. What's the night monster? What is that, like Sasquatch? Oh. That's me. Yeah, I don't know. The night monster. What is my name? We might have to look up some different translations here. The night monster. So mine says male goats will call to their mates. Screech owls will rest there and find a resting place for themselves. No, it doesn't even say. They took it out completely. Screech owls. They took it out completely. Let's look at another version really quick. I'm curious. Sorry, sidetracked. Night monsters, giants, any of that, I feel like. ASV, I don't know. I've read the ASV sometimes. I wonder what they've... Come on. Oh, connecting. But again, Hyperborea map here and other maps too, older maps, when they the ice wall, they have shown these places to be full of. Oops, sorry about that. Wait, it messed up. These places, other maps that show these areas do have big monsters on land and sea. Okay, the ASV, Isaiah 34:14. Sorry, maybe this is a bad sidetrack. Okay. I don't care. Let's see. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Trembling has seized the godless ones. Oh, doesn't even say the same thing. Place. No, here we go. Sorry. Okay. The wilds of the desert shall meet with the wolves. The wild goat shall cry to his foot. Yea. Okay. The night monster shall settle there. What's it say? Oh. Oh. Lilith. I just heard about this. What? Again? Gracious. Lilith. Images. Also entity. Oh, dang it, didn't see my chat. Restream is a complete blank screen right now. I can't even see what you guys are saying. Basically talking to myself. Oh, I never have trouble unless I'm going on longer streams. Okay, so the night monster is a Lilith. I guess since my internet's so bad, I'll just... Okay. So that's the night monster. Ew. That's worse than Sasquatch. I'd rather meet a Sasquatch than this. Lilith. You kidding me? Ew. 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 Okay. Anyway. Oh. Okay. It's blank. Oh my gosh. This is nuts. Okay, now you guys are still here. Am I still live? No. Yes, I'm still live. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous.